Hey guys, this is skooterpoop here with a deck profile video on the Healadin. So just a little background information on the Healadin deck. New ranking system came out. People were trying to figure out pretty much like the easiest way to climb, and what seems to be working is Warlock and Mage. They're just like the two most powerful decks. Warlock is just like full aggro because it can draw. Mage is like aggro with control, or it can just play different kinds of mage decks. Like you can play combo decks with the freezing. They're both pretty versatile. So people have just been playing mage and warlock and climbing the ranks really fast. And so people were thinking about a way to slow them down. What is the best way to combat them? Is there an anti-meta deck? And they brought back a deck that was initially proposed, I think, when Hunter TK happened, or at least that's what I read. I don't really understand how this deck counters Hunter TK, because I mean, I guess I understand, 'cause as long as you're at like 30 life, then they have a lot of difficulty killing you. Then Hunter TK turned out to like not be as consistent as people thought, so this deck died. But now it's making a comeback, and I just made a version of my own for fun, and it works really fucking well. So let's begin. The basic deck is based on the heals. You have 2 Holy Lights. Do I really not get gold ones? I do have 2 gold ones. Why the fuck do I have these in? So much better. Alright, so Holy Light is just really good. If they play early aggro, you just have a way to stall out into later game just much more effectively. 6 health is pretty decent. If they play like 2 3/2s or something, or just hitting you for 6, like this negates that turn. It's almost like a fog in Magic. So, I mean, that's great. Why wouldn't you want that? For more heals, the deck uses 2 Guardian of Kings, which seems like, I don't know. I always thought this card was like not as good as most cards, but the heal, I mean, it's like Holy Light on top of a 5/6. So if Holy Light's 2 mana, it's almost like the 5/6 body is 5 mana, and that actually makes a lot of sense. Yeti is a 4/5 at 4, so it makes sense that this is a 5/6 at 5. It fits that whole vanilla-ness, except for the fact that I guess Ogre is like ridiculous and much more powerful. But yeah, no, Ogre is the next one up. So Yeti is at 4/5, Guardian of Kings at 5/6, and Boulder Fist 6/7. See, Guardian of Kings is really good late game if you need him at all. And for other heals, of course, there's Shoe Silver Champion, which is an answer to many cards, and it heals you as well. Sometimes you take more damage than you're healing, but it's usually worth it to prevent future damage. It like makes the damage that you take very little. If they play like a 4/4 or something, and you hit it, it's like you're taking 2 damage from it, and getting rid of it. I mean, that's like really good. So why wouldn't you play that? And I was lucky enough to get a Lay on Hands in one of my packs, so I definitely am going to put that in. Restore 8 health is huge, draw 3 cards is huge. Late game, being able to Lay on Hands and Holy Light in the same turn is just so devastating. They're like, yeah, I got this, and then it's like 14 life. It's like, oh fuck. In addition to being able to just draw out your hand, which is really good. So let's go into the entire deck. Actually, no, I still like the way I'm going. So my early game is pretty non-existent. Look at my curve. You can see I don't have much early game. Novice Engineer is just a good card. If you get it early, that's fine in this deck. If you get it later, it's even better. Now, draw cards are usually better later in the game because you can play them and get other things that you need. But getting it early is not bad either, especially against aggro decks, and I don't really have anything else to do. A lot of times I'll find myself second turn just playing a 1/1 with the hero ability. If I have a Novice Engineer, I'd play it though, I think, unless it would be pointless. Like, for instance, if they play a Loot Hoarder or something that's like 1 health, or even if it's like a 3/2. Usually if they just like play anything that Novice Engineer can't deal with, I'll play the 1/1. Just to like stall them out a little bit. And that's really what you want to do early game, is stall. But if they play like an Argent Squire or something, Novice Engineer coming out is really good. You don't want to use your coin early in this deck at all. You don't. The earliest you'll really use it is turn 3, because most of your deck is 4 mana. So that's really like the turn that using the coin is acceptable at the earliest point. Maybe I could understand coining out another Peacekeeper, making like a Fairy Dragon 1 attack and then having a 3/3 out can be pretty strong. So maybe that's acceptable too. But other than that, there's like, you would never coin out Novice Engineer. You're not going to coin out a hero ability. You're just not going to do that. In fact, last game I coined out a Shield Master, turn 3, and like you just can't deal with that. You just can't deal with that. So my early game is not very strong, but yeah, not 2 Novice Engineers I like. Although Peacekeeper is just one of the best cards. I love this fucking card so much. I even like Humility. Just being able to make an attack 1 is really good. And there's so much synergy in this game with Humility. I think people underestimate it. Humility works with Acolyte of Pain. Anyone that can like take damage like that. It has synergy with even like True Silver Champion. Being able to make their attack 1 and then attack with True Silver Champion is like the heal 1. Since you're only taking 1 damage back and healing 2. It has synergy with Enrage, being able to make their attack 1 and then attack with like the Worgen or the Amani Berserker. Is just awesome. And then there's also like counterplay. Like you can even use it on, sometimes people use Venture Company Mercenary, and I just play this card and I don't even kill the Venture Company Mercenary. I just make its attack 1, and usually what a person will do is, because they'll see like, oh, I have like a 1/5 or 1/6 or whatever it is. I think it's 1/6. They'll just use it to repeatedly kill all my minions, my 1/1 minions, and like they really should just be throwing it into the biggest body possible and getting rid of it, because they can't play anything from their hand unless they have nothing to play. Then that play is fine. But a lot of people, they just like use it as this control stick on 1/1s, and it just hurts them so much. I don't understand why they do it. But yeah, so this has like a lot of good counterplay. I really like Altar Peacekeeper. It helps you win trades as well. If you want to just hit something into something else, you just Altar Peacekeeper and make it so that it can't really trade. So yeah, Altar Peacekeeper and Humility effects are just like amazing, but I wouldn't put more than 2. I'm not going to ever use a Humility in addition to 2 Peacekeepers. Maybe it depends on the meta. At 4 mana we have True Silver Champion, of course, is like probably one of the best weapons in the game, if not the best weapon in the game. It's like an Arcanite Reaper for a mana less. The power is equal to the mana cost. But in True Silver Champion's case, you heal 2 with every attack. For a warrior to do that, he would need to use his hero ability. So True Silver Champion is just really good. Yeah. So that's pretty much my early game. I also have the Hammer of Wrath. Hammer of Wrath and Consecration. So Consecration, obviously, you want to just use it and get rid of shit. Shadow Sun Cleric being at 2 is really nice right now with Consecration. Just helps you clear something else a little bit better. Sometimes what they'll do is they'll ignore like a 1/1 that you have or something. Like you'll play a minion and they'll like hit you for 6 or 7 with their creatures or something, and then you can just like Consecration and then use your 1/1 to like finish something off, which is pretty cool. That doesn't happen too often, but it can happen. And then of course Hammer of Wrath, just 3 damage to something, and drawing a card is really good. Seems like a waste of a turn, it's really not. It's so beneficial, and the fact that you can target the enemy player is also really important. I've won many games with this card. Anything with 3 health just dies. I mean, that's awesome. So let's get to the beefiness of the deck. This is really what you're stalling into. I have 2 Shield Masters. 4 mana, 3/5 taunt is just so big, especially if you get to coin it out. I think it's one of the... I mean, it used to like be one of the best cards in the game. And I'm not really sure what happened to it. I don't know. It's really good against aggro, and it's not like terrible late game. I guess maybe just around 4 mana there's a lot of things that can deal with it, like people with True Silver Champion. If like they play like any 1/1s or anything on their turn, I Shield Master. If they True Silver Champion, attack it and attack with a 1/1, then it dies. But I mean, it's worth it. Shield Master is so big, and they're gonna have to spend resources on it to kill it, so I think it's worth it. Definitely I would play these over Yeti, despite Yeti being stronger. I think the taunt is just too important. You really just want taunt in this deck. with the heals and the taunt, people have such difficulty getting through to you. I am undefeated with this deck so far. I haven't played too many games, but I mean, the games have been like pretty easy. I played like a priest who had like legendaries and tons of priest gold cards. I think every priest card he played was gold. And I just like crushed him because this deck is just crazy. 2 Fen Creepers, so it's just 1 mana more than a Shield Master for that 1 more life, and that 1 more life is definitely relevant. Not against like a Polymorph or a Fireball, but a lot of attacking shit, especially with all their Peacekeeper. Being able to just like make their attack 1 and barely get this guy scratched at all is really nice. And I already mentioned the Guardian of Kings, but let me mention now the Boulder Fist Ogre. This guy is so big. You want just tons of life in this deck. If you notice, I have 4 mana with 5 life, I have 5 mana with 6 life, and I have 6 mana with 7 life. I'm always ahead of the curve on mana. I'm sorry, on life. My stuff is just so big, they have a problem dealing with it. They have to like, if I play an Ogre, they have to like Fireball it and ping it to kill it. They like waste their entire turn killing it. And it's really just 1 card. And the problem with a lot of mages is they can't really afford to kill creatures with Fireball. Like, I've played games where I just control their early game with Consecrations and Hammer of Wrath, True Silver Champions, Shield Masters, and Fen Creepers, and they end up losing so many minions to just my big guys. And then when I play an Ogre or something, if they have to like use a Fireball on it, it's not like they're fireballing it to clear it for their minions. They're doing it to protect themselves. If that's the case, you're winning. Like, you're winning bad. Really, like, if using Fireball defensively just sucks so much for mage. Like, you want to be dealing damage, because really that's 6 damage. They really need to like just finish you off a lot of times. Aggro decks, they'll play lots of shit and make you lose early game. But if they can't finish you, then they lose. And the thing about mage is that they usually have fireballs and pyroblasts and stuff to follow up, and it's a lot of damage they can deal. So if they have to use like one of their burns on a creature and waste their entire turn doing so, and they're not even dealing any damage other than like this one creature, it's just really good. Next turn you get to just play something else. So yeah, really like that. And then of course I'm running 2 Defender of Argus, because Defender of Argus is even more taunt, it's more power, it's more life. It's pretty much just everything I want. Defender of Argus is really good in Paladin decks because your hero ability just makes 1/1s. So 6th turn you can just play 1/1 and then Defender of Argus just to have a 2/2 taunt. It's a popular play I like if I'm going second and I do that play against a mage. They'll think about Flame Strike. They probably won't use it, but sometimes they do. And if they use a Flame Strike on basically just a Defender of Argus and like a hero ability, I mean, that just blows for them. And like I said, I control their early game usually so much that they don't really follow up their burn spells or their clears with damage. So a lot of the time when they clear, they're just clearing, and I'm not really suffering at all. I'm just going to play something else. It's not a big deal. So let's go over some of the details of this deck. Argent Protector and Hand of Protections. If I had a second Argent Protector, as you can see, none left. If I had a second one, it would be in the deck. There's no doubt about it. If a Divine Shield is 1 mana, then Argent Protector is like paying 1 extra mana for a 2/2. It's like 1 mana for a 2/2 and 1 mana for a Divine Shield. This card is just very cost effective. It helps you win trades. This card is similar to Shadow Sun Cleric in the sense that it makes a minion trade 1 for 2. A lot of times, it's one of the OP things about Shadow Sun Cleric is usually you'll play something, they'll play something that's around the same kind of power level, and then when you Shadow Sun Cleric and pump it up and it attacks, it'll kill the thing and usually survive. So you're going to need to play another card in order to kill it. And that ability to trade 1 for 2 with a lot of Shadow Sun Clerics, is obviously really powerful. But Argent Commander is a cheaper way to do that, which is really nice. It doesn't create as big of a body. It's a 2/2, not a 3/2, but it is a mana cheaper. And it also protects the minion fully from damage, which is really nice. It's less power, but more health, and that's really what you want in this deck. So Argent Protector is amazing. I use Hand of Protections, of course, because they're amazing. If I had 2 Argent Protectors, I don't know if I would play 2 Hand of Protections. It might go down to 1. I really do like having 3, though. 3 seems to be a good number. If I had 4, maybe it would work out better. I don't know what I would take out to have the 4th. I really don't think there's anything I can take out at this point. So it would probably just go down to 1-handed protection and 2 argent protectors. I went over Novice Engineer and Peacekeeper. Went over True Silver. This is just like stall and stop the early game. All their Argent Protector, you won't play early. Don't play this early. You want to use your Divine Shields on your bigger guys. That they usually what'll happen is like you'll control their early game with like a Peacekeeper, True Silver Champion, Consecration, Hammer of Wrath. If they don't have much out to control, then you'll just like play a Shield Master or a Fen Creeper. And at that point, if they play anything bigger after that, that's when the Divine Shield comes into play. You can just Divine Shield, hit it for 3, and it's just really good. So like this 2 mana, this 1 mana, whatever, it's almost like burn 3, or more potentially. So it's really good. Blessing of Kings obviously is like such an amazing card. You just pump up, you hit for the win. Yeah, you trade very nicely. You win games with this card. This, you know, with this deck before I put Ogre in, didn't look very powerful. When I put the Ogre in, definitely looked powerful. But Blessing of Kings is definitely adds to that power. Being able to just have stronger shit is really good. It's even more broken when you're facing a mage who like doesn't seem to have a polymorph or a fireball. Or maybe if he did have a fireball, it's kind of irrelevant the next turn. But if he didn't have a polymorph to stop like a Fen Creeper or a Shield Master, and he just kind of sits back and can't do anything, you can just play a Blessing of Kings and hit him to the face, and just hit for like 8 damage. 7 damage. It's so powerful, and if they didn't have a polymorph before, it's not going to help them now. And if they have a fireball, it's not going to help them now also, because now all of a sudden you have 4 additional health on top of like 5 or 6. 9 or 10 health. So yeah, Blessing of Kings is huge. And sometimes, you know, you just have like a weak field, baiting a Flame Strike or something, and they won't use it, and then all of a sudden you'll just like Blessing of Kings, like an Argent Protector, and have a 6/6 or a 9/9. And how do I go from 6/6 to 9/9? 7/7, I mean. Ugh. The fuck is my math at? Alright, so yeah, you can just make big creatures out of nothing and just hit them hard and just fucks them up. Yeah, also another thing about Defender of Argus I should have mentioned is that power is really important, because your taunters don't have too much power. 3 is like okay. Being able to make them 4 is really nice. Puts them in a sweet spot, especially against Priest. They can't like Shadow Word Paint it, which this deck can be really weak to. Although it's usually not that bad. A lot of times they'll Shadow Word Paint all their Peacekeeper, and just having one out of the way is really nice. Yeah. So what else is in the deck? Divine Shields. Noble Sacrifice is just another stall card. In addition to being a stall card, actually like can kill a minion. It's like 1 mana kill a minion almost. That's really good. And sometimes it can even just like save your own. So for 1 mana, it's pretty powerful. And it also won me this hilarious. It didn't win me the game, but I was able to deal so much extra damage this one game because this guy. I played a secret. And I already used Blessing of Kings on a Shield Master, and he's been whittling it down. Although I've been winning so many trades, it's ridiculous. I Divine Shielded it at some point and killed something. And so eventually he gets it down to like 1 HP. And I played a secret. And then I played the hero power to make a 1/1. And he thought it was the one that if it dies, it comes back to life with 1 HP. And I don't even understand what he did. Like I don't think he understood that card doesn't bring it back to full HP. It brings it back to 1 HP, because he could have just pinged it, which I thought he would do. He's a mage. I thought he would just ping the 7/1, and then if it came back, he's a creature, he's a minion, he could actually just kill it with. Anything kills it. Anything. Well, I mean not anything, like not Shield Bearer, not something with 0 attack, but he had definitely something that could kill it. And he instead pinged my 1/1. And it didn't come back, of course, because I didn't have that secret. But he was shocked. I don't know why. Like, I don't even understand why you would want the 1/1 to come back. I don't know. The fact is, also, if it came back with the with that secret, it wouldn't be a 7/1 anymore. It would be a 3/1. That's like not a big deal. It's like a Wolf Rider. So I don't know what he was thinking. But then he ended up trying to finish off the 7/1 with the minion, and I got the Noble Sacrifice off, and I was able to hit for another 7 damage. I think he played something. I think he was a Dark Iron Dwarf, and he pumped the other thing. And I just like killed the Dark Iron Dwarf, and I was just like, this card is traded so well, I'm just gonna get rid of that and not hit for 7. So this card traded extremely well, and Noble Sacrifice really helped in that. Is that it? Is there not a card that I didn't talk about? Holy Wrath is the last card, I guess. Holy Wrath I just put in because it's a draw, and I have a decent amount of high mana cost cards. If you look at my curve, I have 10 things below 4 mana. So 2/3 of the deck is 4 or above. So Holy Wrath, I mean, it's kind of like a Hammer of Wrath. It's just a little bigger. So Hammer of Wrath will be 4 mana for a 3 damage draw card, and Holy Wrath 2/3 of the time will be deal 4 damage or more and draw a card. So yeah, Holy Wrath is just like another Hammer of Wrath to me in this deck. The fact that I can deal 7 or 8 damage can be devastating. Especially if you have like both a Hammer of Wrath and a Holy Wrath, or if you fucking Holy Wrath into a Hammer of Wrath and deal 4 damage and then deal 3 damage, and you don't really lose cards. And land hands, I mean, I didn't really talk about it, but what is there to say about it? It's just amazing. So between Guardian of Kings, Holy Light, and Lay on Hands, that's like what is this, 8, this is 12, so that's 20, this is 32. There's 32 additional HP that you have. You almost double your HP with all these cards. That's not including Choose Over Champion healing you as well. So I would definitely play this deck, or at least try it. You don't need too many non-basic cards. I have Noble Sacrifice, an Argent Protector, Alder Peacekeeper, yeah. Defender of Argus, yeah. The Holy Wrath and the Lay on Hands, yeah. But most of the basic cards are just basic cards, literally. So definitely give this a shot. I think it's really powerful. It's doing really well. I'm on a win bonus, so I'm gonna keep playing later.